Welcome to this video review. I'm going to go through the features and everything what this scope offers, and then at the end I'll go through the sweet and sour and I share my opinion about this Leica PRS 5-30x56i. It's basically first mil tactical scope made by Leica. So it came out in 2020, and it was a big shock for everyone, at least for myself, because this is a tactical, almost military scope made by Leica, and this is something that nobody expected. And this was the first shock. It was made for PRS competitions in the US, but there is a lot of tactical users and tactical shooters also in Europe, so I'm sure they will sell many in Europe as well. There was no predecessor, so this is the first try from Leica. I know that they sought advice from one PRS shooter, so the whole scope was designed with the help of a pro, and it shows, and it's a really, I would say, a good approach for Leica. What also was a big shock for myself, and it's almost unbelievable, is the price point of this scope. It's 2,700 euros. 5-30, that means 6 times zoom, mil fully tactical 34mm tube scope with a 32 mils of travel on elevation, and made in Germany. It's amazing. Made in Germany and 2,700 euros. This is cheaper than their best Magnus scopes. It's cheaper than Kahles, it's cheaper than Zero Compromise, it's cheaper than Steiner, it's cheaper than Schmidt & Benner, it's cheaper than everything else in this segment made in Europe. And you can see on fit and finish that this is a true Leica. It's really well-made scope. It's roughly 36 centimeters long, so I wouldn't say it's short and I wouldn't say it's too long. 34mm tube, 1.1 kilogram. So roughly an industry average in terms of weight. It has a side focus which goes all the way down, and it's really stiff, I think to 20 meters. You can see it here on 20 meters, and then on the other side to the infinity. The only markings are on 100 meters, but very, very stiff. It has illuminated reticle with a 10 illumination settings, also very stiff, and between each two settings there is an off setting in between. Really well made. It shows that this rifle scope was designed by someone who has some experience with tactical rifle scopes, and I believe that this someone has to come outside of the Leica factory, because inside the Leica factory majority of people only have experience with hunting. The illumination is powered by CR2032 batteries, and together with the scope you get a really long, I would say 3-inch long or even more, sunshade. Normal plastic caps, which are basically useless if we are honest. A small manual or notes, certificate that the scope was tested, or tested that it was exempt before it left the factory. And Sport Optics accessory catalog. Really nice, because Leica has one of the best accessories on the market, at least in their hunting line of products, and like this really beautiful binoculars, cases, and so on. So a nice addition. You get a battery, a cleaning cloth, a small throw lever which can be thread into a magnification ring. Normally hexagonal wrench for the scope, and a special 10% discount on all Tenebrex products, so for the covers. They have a really great fit and finish. The lenses even come with an Aquadura coating, so that they are really protected against scratches, and especially against water, so there is no external fogging on the lenses, or at least less of it. Filled with nitrogen, fully waterproof, fully shockproof, and so on, so really Leica quality scope. I think they did cut some corners to get such a low price. No caps is definitely one of such areas. The other areas are turrets, which are great, but they lack locking mechanism and they lack mechanical turn indicator. And they're also multi-turn turrets, not dual-turn turrets. So they cut the cost here, which is nothing wrong, honestly speaking, because I'm able to live without locking turrets and without mechanical turn indicator if I get this scope for 2,700 euros. This is, I would say, an average 600, 700 euros less than anybody else on the market when we are talking about German-made, European-made optics. There are 3 reticles at the moment, and here is a catch. One of them is 4A reticle in the second focal plane. I don't know who decided to do something like this. I would say that this is probably was done inside of Leica, and that their advisor, the external man helping with the design of this scope, was against, I'm almost sure, even though I don't know the details. But they probably made it just in case that if somebody would buy this as a hunting scope. In my opinion, useless. But they have 2 reticles in the first focal plane, the normal ballistic one and the one which is inside of this scope particular, which is a Christmas tree reticle, really useful in all tactical shooting. The reticles are illuminated, only the central part. And what is really funny with this reticle, which is inside of this scope, it has a small circle in the center. So you're basically able to see where you're putting your bullet. Really, really great. The illumination normally is only for low light use. It's not daytime usable, which is understandable. The turrets, they are tactical multi-turn turrets, no locking, but really nice clicks. Crisp, very audible, and really interesting zero stop function, which you're able to set by yourself without any tools. So you raise this up. Now you have to hold it like this. Yeah. Oh, I should make another video about it, but also Leica has a nice video. My nails are not long enough. Like this. So you're able to remove the entire piece by hand with the use of no tools. And now you're able to set the zero stop. So really, really smart design, really easy to use, no tools needed and so on. Something what others could learn from, honestly speaking. And it's a hard zero stop, so when you set it, it really works nice. I would say I like the fact that you're not needing any tools, then in the system it's really, really easy to use and to set zero. Even though no locking, no mechanical turn indicator. The normal turn indicator is just our lines on top of the, here. You see these lines are turn indicators. Not the best solution, but like I said, 600, 700 euros cheaper than all the competitors. And the optical performance is there. It is Leica optics, so you are getting a really good optics. If we return to the turrets, normally 1 centimeter clicks, 32 mils of elevation, so 3 turns, 18 mils of, or milliradians of windage. Windage turret is also resettable to 0. And all in all, really nice clicks and really easy zero stop. Okay, the optical performance, the scope goes from 5 times magnification to 30, so 6 times zoom, 56 millimeter objective lens, really big bright lens, and normally illuminated. Field of view is 8.2 meters per 100 meters at the lowest setting, which is really good, and there is no tunnel effect whatsoever. So in terms of optics, we all know which scope is a benchmark, a 5-25 by 56 made by Schmidt & Bender many years ago. It's still a benchmark in this segment, and it's much more expensive than this Leica. At least in the lower magnification range, this Leica is optically better. Normally Schmidt & Bender on the other side has a really long track record of being battle proven, and it's more of a military scope. This is more of a, I would say, PRS or civil tactical shooters. Light transmission rate, they are not saying any values, but still, as far as we have tested, it's really good. I would say on par with others in this segment. And the eye relief is 9 centimeters, like expected. There is also fast focus, and everything has such a nice feel to it, the feel of quality. Okay, I think we came to the last part of this review, so the sweet and sour part, where I will share my opinion, what I think is really good about this, the scope, and what could have been done better. So the optical quality, the price point, it's just amazing. The fit and finish, it's really Leica's quality, you can see it, and also made in Germany for 2,700 euros, it's a bargain. I also think that, at least in the tactical community, there is not enough, I would say, discussions about this scope. It's overlooked, even though it's probably one of the best buys. Honestly speaking, I can only think about one single scope at a similar price point, made in Europe, of a similar type, and that is Kahles 624, so 6-24 by 56. It's the only one in this price point. Everything else is much more expensive. 32 mils of elevation, really, really great. I also like the reticle inside of this scope. I also like the fact that you have 3 different reticle choices, even though, honestly speaking, only 2 of them are really usable, because 4A in a second focal plane in a scope like this, it's I would say, not useless, but I don't see a point in it. What could have been done better? If we put the price aspect aside, so if this would be a 3,500 euro scope, I would prefer mechanical turn indicator. I would prefer locking mechanism on the turrets. Apart from that, it's really hard to find anything wrong with this scope, or anything what could have been done much better. Really, really hard to find. Last but not least, the brand awareness. Leica is really famous normally with all the photographers. It's also very famous in hunting, because honestly speaking, if you are looking for a really good pair of binoculars with an integrated laser rangefinder, Leica is the, I would say, the normal choice, or it's a benchmark in that segment. But in tactical mil scopes, Leica is completely new. So I think that the brand awareness is the part where Leica has to do a lot of work so that this scope will sell better. Even though if you are in a market for tactical mil scopes, and if you're a normal person, if you're not a professional, if you're not a member of police or military, this is one of the greatest choices available at the moment, at least in my opinion. You should consider it because of the optical quality and the price point, and normally made in Germany. It's an European scope. I hope I covered everything. I'm sure that we will be hearing more about these scopes in the future, because more people will test them, more people will try them, the more, I would say, a good word will go around about them. I also hope that in the future they will offer even more tactical reticles options in them, because if you look at Kahles, if you look at Schmidt & Bender, if you look at other manufacturers, they all offer multiple different options, different reticles, and this is something that Leica could work on it. But apart from that, it's a really good product, especially when you consider the price point. Thank you for watching. If you have any additional questions, please use the comments below this video. Send us an email, and if you like our reviews, please subscribe.